recording?
All right, guys, welcome back to Spoiler Country. Today is amazing. I was one of the young kids that stood in line for Spawn to come out. Like, I was in Bremerton, Washington, Cliff's Comic Book World, and in the Fred Meyer parking lot, waiting in line to get number one. I still have that book. It's amazing. And today on the show, we are honored to have Mr. McFarlane himself. Todd, thank you so much for coming on, man. This is amazing.
Really. Hey, thank you. And guess what?
What?
I know where Bremerton is, and I've been in Fred Meyer stores. So I used to live up in the Northwest. So everything you just said, I got it.
Yeah.
I understand everything you just said.
Well, so there was always an urban legend that, hey, did you go to the paperback exchange in East Bremerton? Todd McFarlane was there. No, yeah, he just lives up in Victoria. I'm telling you, he was there. You should go. He might still be there. And then you'd run down there, and of course, there was no Todd.
I was like Sasquatch. It was an urban myth.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, you got a lot going on this year. You took 2020 and said, well, we're going to turn this thing on its head and make 2021 pretty exciting.
No, actually, interesting comment, because I've always got something going on. It's just that at times when you get more attention for it and you get more headlines, it seems like you're doing more.
Yeah.
But I'm always busy. It's just that people are paying a little bit more attention this go round. So, okay. But you're right. I mean, we obviously we're going to be expanding the comic book side with, for decades I've essentially been doing the one book.
Yeah.
And now by the end of the year, I'll be up to 4, right? I mean, that's a 300% increase. So
yeah, it's crazy because you got Spawn Universe coming out this month.
Yep.
Which is exciting. We got King Spawn coming out.
One of my copies right here. Look at that. Big cool. So
that's amazing.
I got my advanced copies yesterday. So that's one of the covers from J. Scott Campbell.
Hey, that guy's a great artist. You guys.
Hey, look at there are a lot of great artists out there. So yeah.
There's a ton. It's I don't understand how people break it into the business anymore because stuff.
Look, there was as much talent today.
Yeah.
As I was breaking in, I would never broke in. I was completely mediocre when I got into the business. So luckily, I came at the right time when there wasn't like all these amazing, like you go down Artist Alley at a convention.
Yeah.
Crazy how much talent's there.
Yeah.
You just go, oh my God. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. I mean, literally hundreds of people that I am just super jealous of.
What do you think catches your eye when you walk down Artist Alley?
For me?
Yeah.
Looking at guys who have a style that doesn't look like mine.
Yeah.
Right? I did sort of traditional superhero comic book artwork, and it's cool and I like it. And some of my buddies did it, Jim Lee, Rob Liefeld, and Greg Capullo, who's the best in class. But I'm always looking for people who sort of have a bit of a tweak to their style that I go, oh man, I'll never be able to do that. Right. Yeah. So there's a little bit of a jealousy factor to it. If I'm gonna sort of approach somebody, see if they want to do work, I'm not looking for somebody who can do a knockoff of me. I want somebody who can bring something slightly different to the pages.
Yeah. So, is it better to see somebody that can do a complete book as opposed to just doing the same image over and over again?
There's a thing my mom taught me about being a beggars and a choosers.
Yeah.
Right. When you can get talent, you don't start setting parameters. You just go, thank you. And you take whatever they'll give you.
That's
and
awesome.
If they pencil, ink, and paint and color, like you take it. And if they say, oh, no, I just pencil, then you take that and you run because you got them in the house. They're in the party. And you're having a good time with them. So I try not to get too picky, but I will say there are far more artists, it seems to me today, that pencil and ink their own work than when I first broke in. That we were sort of an oddity, people who were doing their own stuff.
Yeah.
And part of it is, in its simplest form, is because most of us, when we were breaking in, when I was doing it, we were doing monthly books, and monthly books are a lot of work. And so most people weren't doing penciling and inking because it was sort of like doing two books. But a lot of the artists that I meet and that are doing their own penciling and inking,
Yeah.
oh, they're brilliant. And there's, like I said, there's hundreds, if not 1,000. Not that many of them are doing monthly books for a long period of time because it's a lot of work to do both of those jobs for
Right.
everything.
Right.
So it looks cool. It looks like the artwork. But when I phone them and say, hey, you want to do a book? They're like, yeah, but I can only do 8 or 9 issues in a year. I can't do 12.
Yeah. You're like, okay, I'll take it.
Take 12. Yeah. Like Mike Trout. It's like Mike Trout saying, I can play every day but Sunday. I got to rest on Sunday. Okay, I'll still take it 6 days a week.
I got to ask you, do you still have the McGuire ball?
I have Barry Bonds 73 home run ball and Mark McGuire's 70 ball. And I have Sammy Sosa's 66th home run. So the top 3 home runs of all time in Major League history, I have the top 3.
I love it. Dude, I remember when you bought the McGuire ball because it made news. Because they're like, comic book artist McFarlane buys McGuire's 70th home run ball. And I was like, oh. What was it like when you got that ball? You're just like, did you get to meet Mark and have him sign it?
No. And now Mark and I didn't see eye to eye at that point.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, Spawn Universe is coming out. Tell me the inspiration and what we're going to expect to have in the book.
Look, I've said before when we started Image Comics,
yeah,
we sort of had this conversation. Wouldn't it be cool if we all sort of shared our books together and did it? So there was sort of notions of it from the very get. Never happened. Never got off the ground. A few years later, Rob Liefeld, Jim Leone, even at Image. So
right.
I don't know what that would have meant if we'd actually started it. What that had meant when they left. They would have had to, I guess, unplug their characters. So that never happened. And from time to time, we've talked about it. Sort of at meetings, say, hey, wouldn't it be cool? But that never happened. And now, sort of 20, 30 years go by, and I'm sort of saying I've been sort of patient enough. Plus, at some point, so here's on 300.
Great.
300 issues of any book of any character.
Yeah.
You eventually have this long laundry list of characters. And now the only outlet I have for all those characters now that have come and, gone, and I'm not saying they're all A-list characters, but there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
300 plus issues, is I have to keep bringing them into the Spawn class, the one that everybody knows. And the queue becomes very long because you can only get in once a month.
Yeah.
Or I have to now start making the book look like a team-up book, right? I mean, people following the book the last 4, 5, 6, 7 months, they could make that argument that it's like, hey, it's not really Spawn's book. He's sharing it a lot. And so I want to get back to just being Spawn's book.
Yeah.
And the Spawn thing, because he's got his own attitude. But I need a playground to put those other characters. I just don't want to keep them sort of hidden and silent and dormant.
Yeah.
So I just go, hey, now, you know what? I think we're coming up to issue 300. I got really sort of more focused on it at about 300. And I just go, hey, we're coming up to 300, 301, the record setter. If I'm ever going to do it, now's the time to do it, right? And so those 2 covers that I did with Jerome Pena, that he pencil I inked, and there was like all these characters. That was really sort of my teaser to just say, because I had some people go, "Well, I don't understand what that cover meant. They weren't in the book," and it's like, so it was sort of my little pre-tease dangling, saying it's going to come, and so now we're a year and a half past that, and now
already
officially saying I'm going to give space to some of these characters. So the catalyst of that story essentially has been all the issues of Spawn, but something dramatic happened in Spawn 300, and then another ripple. It caused a bunch of ripple effects, and then another ripple is going to happen, and has been there in my mind since issue 100 anyways, but I've sort of been slow playing it for 200 issues. And now all of that's sort of coming to the forefront. And then we're going to get another big ripple in the Spawn Universe book. Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
And now we start giving playground room to everybody. And I'll just listen to the fans and see what they like or don't like.
Yeah.
And then I'll, continue to do those characters or bring in the ones that they like and just play it by ear and move on. So I'm not rigid in what has to happen. I just, it's a big experiment.
Yeah.
And we'll see if any of it works one way or the other.
When you started creating Spawn, did you think
No.
years, 300 issues, that was going to be a thing, or were you planning?
Yeah, the answer is yes, and the honest answer for me is yes and no. And here's the yes and no. I know when I started, and I can be stubborn, is I vowed that I would do Spawn forever, right? And so the only thing that would have stopped me from not getting to issue 300 is I got hit by a bus or cancer, or I got some illness, or I was dead. Basically, I was dead. I was dead. So the reason I'm up to 300 is because I'm alive. And do I plan to get to 600? If I'm alive and I can do it, if I got 300 more months of living, then you're going to get 300 more months of the comic book.
That's
so, and if I get more than that, then we'll be past it. So the quest was always, I'm going to do Spawn. I had two goals. I'm going to always do Spawn, and I would argue more important to me was that I was going to always put that logo on it.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I didn't care. I would just go, and there will, at least in my lifetime, there will always be an Image comic books. This is now going all the way back to 1992.
Yeah.
There will always be an Image comic books, even if it's only one book.
Right.
Because I was just going to be stubborn and say, I'm going to do my book and I'm going to put that Image eye on it. And if everybody else doesn't want to do it and nobody wants to be a part of this, it doesn't matter. I'm going to do it. Right. But luckily, that wasn't necessary because there's a bunch of brilliant people, way more talented and smarter than me, that have brought their talent to Image and have helped us sort of make it so that Spawn is just sort of a corner of Image and not even necessary. Right. This is great to me. This is the great thing.
Yeah.
Image. If I get hit by a bus tomorrow and Spawn went away and Todd went away, Image is still, well, it's still good. Is gone, like this, which is actually the victory. It's so at the beginning it was sort of predicated on the original founders in our books.
Yep.
But we've now moved way past that. That the company it doesn't need the founders per se, and it doesn't need their books. Well, because there's so much idea and there's so many creative people that we've sort of made ourselves redundant, which was actually for me part of the puzzle.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing. When I say that, that's a good thing. So
I remember when that whole thing happened and you guys knocked, and it was a shock to everybody that collected comic books. Because I'm a collector. I'm not a spectator. I'm a collector, right? Like if I get a comic signed from you, I definitely want you to say to Kenrick from Todd, because I'm never selling that book.
And then you're going to get graded?
If I get graded, I only get it graded so that it keeps it. That's awesome. I want that.
or you can read it 1,000 times.
Exactly.
You can grade it and just get it.
Yeah, and that'll be fine too. I've bought in books that I've broken the seal on because I want to read them because I love to read. I love the tactile feel of a book more than the digital copy. I love opening it up and smelling it and going through it. I have an Erie number 4 from 1957.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and I'm like, I gotta read this. I completely opened it. I'm like, I just can't. It's like a 3.5, and I was like, I can't. I got to be able to read it. But I was gonna say, I remember when all that happened, and you're right. It really was at the beginning. It was all the founders. And it was, the Jim Lee, the Eric Larsons, the Todd McFarlanes of the world. And everybody was like, oh my God, these books are going to be amazing. And all these guys have formed this company. And then there it is.
There it is. Look at all the boys. Look how young they are. Sure. Yep. Look at it. They used to have hair. you. It looked good. That boy looked good. So
That's a great shot. But but now it was, I remember the argument, well, not the argument, but the prevailing thought from the people that I was around at the time, I was 18 when this all happened, was, well, they're not DC and Marvel. I don't know how long they can last if if they don't put out content that might be great. But then, Eric's dropping Savage Dragon, you're doing Spawn. I mean, just consistently good stuff after another. And now here we are almost 30 years later. And the proof is in the pudding. It's amazing.
For me, the great value of Image is the possibility that is presented to the creator.
Yeah.
So after almost 30 years, and if you're a creator and you have an idea, you can look at all the examples, both good, bad, or indifferent, that have happened in 3 decades.
Yeah.
And you can pick the paths and try to avoid other paths, but pick the path that is good for you, right?
Yeah.
So I don't assume or expect anybody to say, oh my God, I'm being like Todd, I'm gonna do a book and I'm gonna do it for 300 issues. As a matter of fact, if you actually made that your goal, I think you're kind of insane, because in hindsight, I don't know that I would have picked that as a goal, because man, that's a lot of work.
It's done.
But if you don't want to do 300, then you can do 250. That's Eric Larson.
Right.
And if you don't want to do Eric Larson, you can do 190. Then that's Robert Kirkman. And if you don't want to do that, then there's 120, and that's Mark Silvestri in Darkness. And if you don't want to do that, you can do 55, 60, and that's Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona. And if you don't want to do, but there are books that have only gone 5, 6, 8, 10 issues in their run that were spectacular, right? Yeah. And that was enough. The creative people told their story. So to be a creator, and especially for the stuff that we've done at Image, it's not any one thing. I just become, after all these years, one of the examples, one of the possibilities.
Right.
If you think there's anything I did that makes sense to you and you want to try and do a version of it, fine, knock yourself out. But if not, there are 25, 30 other great examples over the last 30 years at Image.
Yeah.
Which people did wonderful books and succeeded and had a good time and were financially rewarded and were the drivers of their every decision along the way. That's awesome. That's the victory. The victory is getting up every day, making your own decisions on your own material. That's it. It doesn't have to last for 30 years or 300 issue.
Right.
That might just be a nutcase like me. So forget it. Right. Look at, I've said it before. I've done 300 issues. So let's say, I just sent 319 to the printer. So if I get up to 600, that's going to be like close to 50 years, right?
Yeah.
50 years. Okay. I keep saying, who's the young lad or young lady who's at 21 when you got nothing but energy, nothing but enthusiasm? The world is your oyster. And you go, you know what I'm going to do? I'm on Todd, and I'm going after his record. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do 700 issues. And I'm 21, and that means I got to do it for 55 years, which means I'll only be 76. Okay?
Only 7.
Like, I know who that 21-year-old that says, I want to map out my life till I'm 76 right now, and I'm not going to deviate. And here's why I wouldn't chase it, especially if I get close to 600. Here's why I wouldn't chase it. Because what if you actually are great and you're dogged and you're determined and you're coming for me and you get to like issue 559 and you've been at it now for like 49 and a half years, 51 years. I don't know. It's a long time.
Yeah.
And then you forget to look when you cross the street and you get hit by a bus and you never got there. You spent 51 years and you never got there. It was like,
it'll be on their tombstone. Never made it to Todd.
No, you never got the record. So if it's outgoing, I'm going to take that record from that dude. If you want to take a record and you don't want to spend 50 years of your life just go to the Guinness Book of World Record and make a pizza that's 2 inches bigger than the biggest pizza, and you'll get your record, and it won't take you 51 years. Don't worry about it. So there's lots easier ways to get to 50, to get their record. If you need a record, shit, eat the most hot dogs in one day.
There's other ones out there. Where does your drive and stubbornness, do you think, come from?
From the oxygen in my lungs. Every day I get up, and
Yeah.
it's like today I've got air in my lungs. I'm alive. I'm not gonna feel sorry for myself. It's a great day. Today's a good day. Oh, by the way, who cares what I did? Who cares what I did yesterday? Right? I mean, who cares? And if for me, if I think that the best I can do, I've already done.
Yeah.
Like, that's weird. It's like, oh yeah. When I was doing Spider-Man, that was the highlight of I just been on autopilot. Like, what's that about?
Yeah.
I'm either I think delusional. So I think that helps a little bit. I still think that all my best work is still ahead of me.
That's awesome.
It's all, again, my plan is to direct this Spawn live action. So I haven't even begun one of my careers yet.
Yeah.
I got a career
I'm
that
excited
I haven't even begun yet. That's coming down the pipeline.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited for that. Do you have any updates that you can share on the live action? I know Jamie Foxx is very much wanting to be involved or is involved, and I'm hoping that comes to fruition because I love Jamie Foxx. I saw him do his stand-up comedy back in like 1998 at the Moore Theater, and it was amazing.
Yeah, the pandemic came and it shut down Hollywood essentially, right?
Yeah.
And so what it allowed everybody to do was just basically go into creating idea mode, develop mode, all those things that normally would happen, that you get distracted, which is a good distraction if you're in production. So we've been working on the project still.
Yeah.
We've added some pretty serious talent to it. We haven't gone public with. So the party has gotten bigger and way more skilled.
It's awesome.
I think people, when we let the names out, will be blown away. And the last I heard, we may have something to go shop around here in about 3 months or something like that. So again, who knows? Sometimes things go a little bit slower, as I found, which is why I've got a day job. So the next big headline that I'm going to come out with the Spawn movie will just be, we've sold it. It's sold. Somebody's put up the money, and hopefully at that point they've even penciled in a production start time for us, and then we can say, oh my God, it's coming, instead of talking about development and talking about what we're doing. I think that's sort of the first salvo, and we can say that. And if you add talent, but even when we added talent, and we were talking about with Jeremy Renner and Jamie Foxx and Jason Blum, that I went, let's just get this thing sold in a meaningful way and have a real headline for people. They've been waiting. I've been talking about it for so long. It's like it's time to stand up and deliver, or just be quiet and until we get to that point. Yeah. And I would say the same thing. I mean, last week we made the announcement with the Salmon Twitch TV show.
I was going to
with the people, who produced The Mayor of Easttown. And again, it wasn't a headline of I've sold an auction, right? Like that one's sort of the easy one. That is, it's been bought by them. We've got writers on it, Jason and Todd, which is cool. Writing those two guys, if you say their name quickly, they're a comic book character, so it's cool. Jason Todd, and obviously they're super talented with their prior work on things like Condor and with Jason with War Dogs and other projects they've both done. Look them up on IMDb; they're awesome. So, but the next headline from that should be we've got a draft, we've gone over it, we've made the edits, and we're now walking into the studios and selling it, and hopefully at least one will say yes. So the next headline will be Salmon Twitch bought by this network, and now we're thinking about, well, when are we going into production, right? So at least we'll be able to say, hey, we sold it to NBC, we sold it to Showtime. We sold it to HBO. We sold it to Hulu. Whoever said yes, that should be the next headline. So it's like developed, sold, developed, sold. Those should be it should be 1, 2, bam, let's go. So hopefully, and that's going along, speeding along too, because I've already read the first draft of the first script. So maybe those will go a lot faster than what's been happening with the Spawn movie.
Yeah. When you met Jason, was it Smilovic?
Yep.
Is that how I say it right? Smilovic?
Yeah, Smilovic. Yeah.
Smilovic and Todd Katzberg. When you met those guys, what made you say, oh yeah, these guys are perfect for Sam and Twitch?
One, they wanted to do it. So let's just put that out there. So there's a whole beggars and choosers, right? But not only did they want to do it, but again, here's one of the things I do, and it's not necessary, but I think that it matters.
Yeah.
I do look at their IMDb, and I look at their resume, and if I read stuff, I go, oh my God, I saw that and I like that.
Yeah.
I didn't know they did that. Oh, that's awesome. That to me, then it becomes a bonus, right?
Yeah.
So you go, man, I already know they're talented. I already know they have, the street cred. I already know they're professionals and people like them in that. And besides, they did a bunch of stuff. They did a bunch of stuff that I like personally. Oh, that's a win. That's a win all the way around.
And
cool. Because sometimes there's people that the studios really like that you go, oh, I've seen some of their stuff where I don't even know them.
Yeah.
But, if it gets the project made, let's go, right? Let's go. So, and then when we talked about it, they came back and they sort of gave their pitch to me, and I went, cool, let's go see if we can sell it. And we took it to this company called Whip that, like I said, did Mayor of Easttown. And they were like, yeah, cool. We're looking for something else. Let's go.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Awesome. I got to ask, man, what makes you want to direct?
My curiosity.
Yeah.
That to me, directing is a form of art, and I've dabbled in a lot of different art. I write, I draw, I ink, sometimes I color, I do toys. I have to look at packaging. I did a little bit of music videos and stuff. So to me, it's just like just another way of storytelling. And it's interesting when I'm watching a movie, my wife hates it, that I'm dissecting the movie.
Yeah.
And in a way that I go, would I hire that prop guy? Would I hire that person who did all the clothes? Would I hire the person like the DP, the editor, the person who did the music? I'm literally like going, I put them, and I actually make a list of them, and I go in there and I go to again these websites and go, who did the music on this? And I've got this running list of all these people, and the thing that's interesting, which is actually for me rewarding, is that I start repeating the same people.
Yeah.
Right. Like I go, oh, I love that movie. I love the look of that movie and that movie and that movie. And then all of a sudden I'm making my list and I went, what? I got 50 movies that I like, and they've been done by 23 directors of photography, cinematographers. Basically, It's the same group of people.
Yeah.
Which is good because it means I'm being consistent with what I like, because I keep going back to the same people unknowingly, going, oh my gosh. And then I go, well, they did that. And there are some people I have on my list where there's 5 movies that I think are awesome that I went, what? They did all 5 of those movies? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So I'm gonna do everything I can to get one of those top flight DPs because they'll make me look good.
Yeah.
And I like the look. In my mind, I know the look that I want.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like, hey, I got to go direct. How do you like? Do I know what the lenses are called? No. Do I know what the lighting aperture? No. Do I know what I want it to look like and the cropping and yes. And I can go to dozens of movies and show the shot, show the scene, and go, there it is. Right. So to give an example to people. And it came out the same week, I think the Venom movie did. There was a movie that came out that was called Born. What was the Lady Gaga one?
Oh, yeah. With, what's his name?
The remake with Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, Born.
A Star is Born.
Yeah, Star is Born.
Star is Born. Okay. Anyways, I think it's a brilliant movie, right? I can watch it over and over and over
Yeah.
for a lot of different reasons. So we'll debate that another day. But to me, I think it's a brilliant movie. But the visual look of that movie is awesome. For me, it's awesome. And who directed that movie? Bradley Cooper.
Yeah.
Now, okay, Bradley Cooper. Bradley Cooper, I didn't even know he was a director. He wasn't, but he was smart enough to know to go get a top flight director of photography and a great editor. And so when I look, I mean, I remember when I found out Bradley Cooper directed that movie, I went, oh my God, that movie's awesome. Who was a director of photography? And of course, he's one of those guys that I have on my list that did 5 movies that I think are brilliant. So it's like, of course he's got one of those guys, right? So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go to all agencies and go, here's my list. Whatever they need, I'll pay for it out of my pocket. I need one of these 5 top people because they need to make me look as good as, in this case, as they made a first-time director like Bradley Cooper look over there. Now, again, Bradley Cooper's also friends with Todd Phillips, who's an amazing director himself. And so, again, I'm sure he got a lot of coaching or whatever. But I'm just saying, if you put smart, educated people around you, they will make you look like a pro, not a rookie. So,
yeah. I manage a ton of people, and that's one of my whole thing is hire people that are smarter than me, and then get them doing things because then I look great, and then I prop them up, and they look great. And
no, the best day I have is when I'm the dumbest guy in the room.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
No, it's true, and it's a good gig because part of it is because a lot of times it's through what we're doing at McFarlane Toys or McFarlane is what. So somewhere along the line, I'm gonna get credit for it anyway. So I'm like, I got the best gig in the world. I'm like the Queen, right? The Queen of England. I just come out, I wave, to people, and then people go, "What does he even actually do?" Because it's all those young people that are doing all the heavy lifting. He's just that old guy that wears that little hat. So it's like, but it's a good gig if you can get it, right? Shoot, right? Just hire the smartest people, and they'll make you look great every day.
Yeah,
every day.
I love it. Man, right. Where do you find time? How much do you sleep in a night? Are you like a 3-hour, 4-hour night guy? Because
no.
Spawn, now you have Universe, Gunslinger, King Spawn. Is it Scorch? I want to say, as I said,
the Scorched. Yeah,
the Scorched. Yep. Sam and Twitch is coming out. I know you're going to be involved in that, and you're working in.
Yeah, I got a couple more coming down the pipeline. I got a couple more headlines out of Hollywood that are coming. So, yeah. But here's the thing. So, and I don't know if people are interested in my sleep pattern, but we can talk about it.
It's just that you get so much. Of like, when do you even sleep?
Because because you like we just talked about it. You hire good people. You make sure beginning of my career when I was doing comic books, it was me in a room writing, penciling, and ink, and that was it. Now I've got lots of people. I mean, what are you talking about? You think that this book came out and I penciled and inked every single page? I got some good people on. So unlike most people, and I'll let me use my wife as an example, that most people don't get to get sort of all this sort of imagination and fantasy and ideas and concepts out of their head during the day, right? Yeah. So they go to sleep and they have a lot of vivid dreams, and to some extent my wife has night terrors and she wakes up a lot and something, so something's active in her brain.
Yeah.
Where I go to sleep and I don't wake up till the morning. I've got a strong bladder, never have to get up and pee.
Nice.
So yeah, that's another thing. I'm going to my grave never getting up. So because my dad I went on a couple of road trips and he would get up 3 times a night, and I made a vow that I'm going to have the strongest bladder ever. And I'm
getting up out of bed.
and I can go. You talk to people. I was doing a CGC sign. I get there at 7 a.m. and I don't move till midnight. I don't even get out of the chair. I don't eat. I don't go to the bathroom. I don't do nothing. Right? And they're like, "We heard you're like that. We didn't think it was true." Oh, I can be. I'm like a camel. But I'll digress quick. I'll give you my secret. it's super simple. You don't put anything in this hole, it doesn't come out in the other holes. So
Right.
just get to sit down, start signing, and don't do anything, and just sign all day.
Yeah.
But back to the sleeping. I think that the average person is pretty vivid and active when with their imagination, because they don't get it out from 9 to 5. That's not their day job, right?
Right.
I get to get it out. I have the luxury of getting it out all day long. So at night, I'm sort of mentally exhausted, and I just sleep.
Relax.
And so because I got to recharge.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's another day. I got to be ready to go.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I'm the opposite. This is why it's interesting. If you were to say, Todd, what are your favorite movies?
Yeah.
Very few of them. Very few, with the exception, have any fantasy in them. They're all dramas. They're all real. Oh yeah. And the reason is because at the end of the day, after 12 hours of doing fantasy, for me, I'm not saying that some people are different. For me, I need to unplug. I need to throw the switch off. So
Yeah.
when I go home and I go click, I don't want to watch any fantasy. So I don't care what big fantasy TV show is on. I want no part of it.
Yeah.
I want to draw. This is why when I was watching, Mayor of Easttown for the first time, I was like, oh my God, that's what Simon Twitch needs to feel like. Just gritty, real, grungy. And oh, by the way, I looked it up. What the DP of Mayor of Easttown is also, by coincidence, on my list because of some of the prior work he did. And one of the movies I really liked that he did was on Wind River, which was Taylor Sheridan and Jeremy Renner.
Right.
Jeremy, I remember I was talking to him, was really talking about Ben, his name, about how great Ben was. And so I'm watching Mayor and going, who did that? This looks good, because TV is looking like movies now.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, of course, with Ben Davison again. Oh, okay, cool. So at least the consistency was there of looking at it. But to me, I just want it. I do fantasy by day, and then my entertainment, I want it to be drama, and then I sleep like a baby, and then I start all over again.
That's awesome. Well,
whether it's awesome, it's the truth.
But I mean, it's I don't know. It's nice to see that you're just growing up and reading Spawn, Todd. There's a bit of a mythos around who you are, And so to get back and sit down and listen to you and just feel like, oh, he's just a normal guy like the rest of us. That is.
So I shouldn't, because it served me well.
Yeah.
I'll give you a bit of a secret, though, that having a little bit of a myth that goes with you can be to your advantage.
Yeah.
Because sometimes if they think you're the crazy man, sometimes you need to be in the room and you need to be crazy. And sometimes if they think you're the devil, sometimes you just need to show them a little bit of the devil, right? So depending on who you're dealing with, what the topic is, how good or bad it's going, I have to be able to just turn on sort of the shtick at times to basically deliver what it is, so they get the point across. But if you were to see me at home, you would just go, "What? is that him there with
not real
mismatched socks, and he's picking up his dog shit in his backyard, and he's having to scrub and do whatever, and I had just spent 20 minutes scrubbing the pot because I burnt the eggs too bad, or like just dumb." And there are plenty of times I go, "Man, if my enemies could only see me now, right? They wouldn't be nearly as threatened by me." and they wouldn't give me nearly as much credit as being some kind of, the people who like me as being, oh, he's so smart, he's this, he's that. I sometimes people say way too kind.
Yeah.
It's like at the end of the day, I still squeeze a toothpaste in the middle and put on my pants one leg. It's like everybody else. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird. The thing that's weird about having a little bit of celebrity, and I think most celebrities will agree with what I'm about to say, is that you don't, for the most, you're not thinking about that, right? You're just living your life,
Yep.
doing what you want to do because you enjoy it. and the byproduct of it is you have success, and some of that success then allows you to have a reputation that becomes quote unquote sort of mini celebrity. And again, the celebrity is dependent what room you're in. I mean, we talked about, if I go to a comic convention or whatever, I'm a big shot.
Sure.
If I go to the next Avengers movie on the red carpet, nobody cares who I am.
Right.
So you gotta be in the right room or whatever else. But I do like, for me, I think that I have a good life, at least on the sort of the popularity point, because I have just enough that it's useful.
Right.
But then I can walk outside. The first person I run into bumps into me and they go, "Hey, idiot, watch yourself." They don't care who I am.
Right.
And I can go to 7-Eleven and buy a Slurpee and not get hassled. I've often wondered about people like Tom Brady and Brad Pitt, and like they can't even go out. They can't even that to me would not seem like it would be a fun thing, right? And so this is why when I hung out with Stan Lee so much, that Stan would go to the shows because he loved it, and he would be obviously the star of the show. And then at the end, he was sort of like me. He was a bit of a homebody, right? But he would go home because he loved his wife. He just wanted to be with his wife, and he just wanted to relax. He wanted to turn it off. So he would go. He'd be the shining star. He enjoyed being around people because he liked being around people and enjoying himself. And then at the end, it was like, hey, you want to go out with the other celebs? You're like, no, I'm going home, right? And so I go, yeah, I get that. But it's like, I have fun, being at the shows, but people will tell you here, Todd, you don't really like to go to the shows. You're a homebody. And the answer is yes, but I go, but if I'm going to go to shows, then let's do it right. Let's put a smile on our face, right? Let's be kind and courteous to the people that are in front of you and have a good time. And then you can go home and do your thing. But given the choice, I'd rather just be at home. I'm a bit of a loner when you get right down to it. So.
I got a question for you, and it took me. I had to think about this one because I'm kind of interested. You started Image with the likes of Jim Lee and Eric Larson and Rob Light, all those guys. But I'm curious if you had a catalyst like Kickstarter, what is the difference you might see with Image if it was starting today?
Kickstarter is a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
So here's the two things that Kickstarter are good for. One, if everybody turns you away, you can figure it out and you can go do it yourself. Nothing wrong with that, because I was stubborn. I would have done that.
Yeah.
Number two, it can get you a lot of cash real quick if you catch a little bit of lightning in the bottle. The downside, there's not enough people that are backing those projects. They're going to make what you're doing noticeable.
Right.
So I'll give you a personal example. I'd never done Kickstarter. I go, hey, you know what? Pandemic's coming. You know what? I'm going to do a toy. We're going to do our Kickstarter toy.
Yeah.
Right? Spawn, cool. I can do things I couldn't do. It's just an experiment. Never done it before. We set 2 records. Most money, most backers.
Wow.
For an action figure.
Yeah.
Comma. But the number of backers for that record setting that people go, oh my God, Todd, you killed it. You killed it. You killed it. And we did, because I didn't know it was going to go that crazy. But the number of units that we sold, if I sold that number of units at Walmart or Target, it would be considered a failure.
Wow.
So I can give you the 50th best character at DC's Multiverse that had better sales than my Kickstarter. Yeah. So you can upcharge and you can get money. What you're not getting is a lot of back. I mean, at the end of the day, I guess it depends where your value is. If you need money today, it's a great spot. If you want to basically let people know you have an idea, it's a great spot. But the ultimate big goal, if you want to climb the mountain high, is you need lots of people to know you exist. Not money, lots of people to know you exist. And so the more eyeballs that can see you, the better. So take a look at a bunch of Kickstarters.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
You're getting 1,000, 2,000. like, what are you talking about? You need not only tens of thousands, you need hundreds of thousands. Eventually, you need millions and tens of millions to do something that's big and giant and meaningful. And then you can then sort of reap the benefits of some of that. So let's look at another example. Robert Kirkman's doing Walking Dead. It was doing really good. And then it goes on TV and 24 million people are watching it in its heyday, which is some crazy record on cable.
Right.
Okay. Did that have any repercussion to the sales of The Walking Dead and the trade paperbacks that Robert put out? Of course it did. 24 million people were looking at it. They now are aware that your brand, and now if you can get 1% of 24 million, woo, that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. And so don't underestimate the value of making less, but getting more people to see what you're doing, because one of those people who sees it may be somebody that is a person of power and can come in saying, hey, you know what? I saw that, or my wife saw it, or my kids saw it, or something like something. Sometimes you just need a little bit of dumb luck and don't do it. So I don't know. I think that maybe some of my partners would have done more Kickstarter or gone to Kickstarter? Yeah. Would I have? I wouldn't have, because I know myself. I would have said, I don't need money right now. I need an audience. I need a crowd. I need a fan base.
Yeah.
That I can build off a fan base. If it's just money, then I'll sell some original artwork of my Amazing Spider-Man I just finished doing. So so that's it. I know Kickstarter, and even people talking about like NFTs and whatever else. And I've had a lot of people approach me about that. And maybe we'll try something here or there. But I keep asking the same question. What's the meaningful thing? What's the reason for doing it other than because you can and you can make a buck, right? That's not, for a guy like me who's not a public company, that's not enough for me. Right? And it's easy for me to say because I have money and I don't have to chase it.
Yeah.
So, that attitude has been there for a long, long time. I have said plenty of times, I would rather have 1 million people give me $1 than to have 10 people give me 100,000. Same amount of money, but in one case, I've got 10 people that know what I'm doing, and the other case, I've got 1 million people, and I am way better off with 1 million people knowing what I'm doing. So, okay, and even if the answer was, Todd, you only got 800,000, not 1 million, that gave you a buck, 200,000 less, I would still take the 800,000 people, because I think in the long run, that 800,000 people will grow into a much bigger number, and I'll make up the lost 200,000 that if I had 10 people, it would have given me 100,000. I don't know, but that's just me. Everybody else sort of has to do what they got to do.
Totally. I love it. Todd, we've been on for almost an hour already. Can you believe that?
Thanks, Mom.
It went quick, man. It went really quick. I can't believe it. I so much appreciate your time today. It's been amazing. I know you're a busy man. You got a lot going on. And so to take your time out to come to our little podcast is a huge deal. And I really, really appreciate it.
Yeah. So let me just say one more thing here.
Please.
Because it just, not because I'm stubborn and I'm psycho, but just to put in perspective to people so they don't sell themselves short, right? People will say a lot of nice things about me, and I go, Todd, you had a great career, and you did this, and you did this, and you did this, and you did this. Okay. So I just, a couple months ago, I turned 60. Okay, cool. Start at 20, you're at 60. I've had, 35, 40 years in the business, although I was a late bloomer, but let's just use round numbers, 40 years, right? I plan on living to be 100 years old. So that means I've got another 40, which basically means, ladies and gentlemen, I'm only halfway through my career. I'm only halfway through. So as much as you want to say something nice, anybody wants to say something nice, and people have done documentaries. I go, documentaries, you're only at the halfway part of the race. It seems weird. You want to do a documentary about a guy who ran half a marathon. But okay, fine, go ahead, because you're going to have to do another one at some point later in the game. And I'm not saying that to say anything about me. I'm saying that people that are creative think that somehow it's like other jobs and you have to start slowing down when you're 50, when you're 60.
Yeah.
And it's just not true. You can go for a long, long, long time as long as you're healthy and you got air in your lung. So I know you're going, well, now you're, 25, and no, now you're at 35, and now you're at 40. I mean, if you get to 45 and you've been making excuses, you're never going to do it. But even at 35, it seems like it's too late. It's not, because what if you live to be 90? You still have 55 years, whatever that idea is, to still do it if you have the energy. 55 years, you're only 35. That's 1.5 times your entire lifetime. Like, there's plenty of time. There's plenty. Don't talk yourself out of it. Stop making excuses. Because if you do, then a guy like me who's not making excuses, who's delusional, thinks he can do everything, is going to just cut in front of you all the time. Because they go, I'll do it. I'll cut it. I'll do it. Like, so.
Totally.
Mike, I just want everybody to just try that one time, and who swing for the fence, and so what? If it doesn't go, at least you tried. And every now and then, the Robert Kirkmans of the world pop up. And you just go, oh my gosh. And then here comes Brian K. Vaughan. Oh my God. And here comes Johnny Cage.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And they're going to keep coming, and they're going to keep coming, and they're going to keep coming. Babe Ruth does not play baseball anymore. It's okay. It's okay, because we now get to watch Vlad Guerrero Jr. and Mike Trout and Brian and Harper. So you just go, like, it's just going to keep turning over, right? So the new singers are not the Stones and the Beatles anymore. It's today's. So I don't know why people don't want to be a little greedier for their life, their own personal life. But it's a personality trait too. You have to be sort of a little sort of crazy in the head and a little odd, which I have been since day one. When people go, why are you so competitive or whatever else? Ask my mom. It's just in my DNA. I think I came out of the birth canal exactly this way, right? So it wasn't a learned behavior. I got in trouble from, my mom will tell you, I got in trouble since I was 5. So it's there. So if you don't have that personality, then what I'm saying doesn't really make sense, because failure is not an option. It's not an option, right? Does it happen? Of course it does.
Right.
Have I got a bloody nose? Many times. Have I made the wrong call? 1,000 times. Have I done bad pages in comic books? Plenty of them. Plenty. All the above. But over time, they forgive you for your mistakes, because you've now got a body of work. And they're looking at the body of work instead of any one specific sort of note in the one song that you're doing, which is called your life, right? So I don't know, but that's me. I think the youth is way too talented and has way more energy than I do, and so I just want to encourage them, like my own children, to just go, make a guy like me irrelevant. It would be awesome.
Right. There you go.
Fuck. Basically, I put in. Basically, look at guys. I put it in a nutshell. Fucked up, right? Basically, that's it. Like, you just go, oh man, fuck. Like, I'm taking you down. That's it. That should be the attitude. Oh man, I'm taking you down. That's it. That's it. Do it.
And with those parting words, folks, Todd McFarlane, thank you so much, sir. I so much appreciate your time.
Sure, you'd be good.
You too, and hopefully we can get you back on, because I'd love to talk some more.
All right,
buddy. I'll talk to you soon.
Peace out.
Out.
Yeah.
Spaghetti. And we're back.
That's right. We are back. Back in the saddle again. Well, I hope you guys really, really enjoyed that as much as we did making it for you. And if you like what you heard and you want to hear more, you got to go check out Spoilerverse.com, because at Spoilerverse.com, we have a plethora amazing directors and artists of all walks of life, and editors and writers, and oh my God, are you a lover of comic books like we are? Then there's so many amazing people from the comic book world over at Spoilerverse.com, and I highly implore you to go there and check it out.
Yeah, and while you're there, you can check out all the other podcasts on our network, like Vigilante Geekdoms and Funny Book Forensics and Haphazard Adventures and Nerds from the Crypt and so many more.
Misery
We put out
Point Radio.
episodes all the time. Go check all of them out. And Check out all of the reviews and previews and articles we have going up every single day for you, every day on Spoilerverse.com for you to check out, to read, and to love, and to like, and to comment. We have a store link. You want to help support the site? You can do it two ways. One, go to our Patreon, which is patreon.com/spoilercountry, or go to our store link in the middle of the site there and get a t-shirt, a face mask, a hoodie, something, look fly as hell, and help support the site when you do that, because we get $1 or $2. And, maybe you want to talk to us. If you do, you can do it obviously on all the socials, but if you go to scpod.us/discord, you can join our public Discord server and come chat with us all day long.
I couldn't say it better myself, dude.
There you go.
You just mouthed out a ton of information at once, and really, I hope you guys enjoy what you're hearing, because we're working our butts off to bring it to you.
We are.
I guess there's only one left thing. Yeah, I'm gonna go with it. There's only one left thing left to do.
What's that?
In an oceans of podcasts,
We are Cthulhu.
as Cthulhu compels you to
Open the mind.
and read more.
Spaghetti.